Good morning and happy day after 4th of July, which makes that July 5th. This is one of my favorite weeks because A, my husband officially starts singing Christmas songs, and B, it's my birthday week. Yay! I actually was talking to my daughter this morning and I said, hey, I want to throw myself a birthday party this Saturday night. And she goes, oh, Mom, you're such a 7. And I was like, oh, hush, you're going to make me cry because she knows me. But I am just very happy to be here right now. We are halfway through this wonderful year of relearning, readjusting, and what I want to talk about is recalculating. We've all heard that word, right? I mean, which of us has not heard our very thoughtful GPS lady, although sometimes she's a little bit agitated sounding, when we take a different turn and she goes, recalculating. And sometimes it's not a surprise because, I don't know, you intentionally said, oh, I'm going to turn off here and go somewhere. And I don't know, maybe you saw a fruit stand and it was like, oh, I'm going to start eating more fruit. Which in my case, that probably wasn't it. It was probably a piece of furniture that I saw on the side of the road. And I was like, oh, I think I can refinish that or chalk paint it and put some of those fancy French words on it with the little scrolls and stuff. And so actually, I'm using that example because that's exactly what I did one time. And even while I was turning around to go get that piece of furniture, the whole business idea of unfolded in my head. I was like, oh, I could make this a whole business and I could get furniture and refinish it and sell it. And it would just be, it would be so much fun. And I did that with that one piece of furniture. I went home. I looked online. I found a used overhead projector and I printed, indeed, I did. I printed one of those the pictures with the grapevine and the scrolls and some kind of French word, I think said something about cafe. And I was so proud, but it was just a lot of work. Well, to this day, that piece of furniture sits up in my guest bedroom, and my grandkids like to pull it over to the side of the bed and kind of use it like a step stool so they can get up on the bed. And they've never once not complimented my creative genius. But that was just one of many ventures that I've just jumped into without, planning it out from point A to point Z. Sometimes I can be a little impulsive, but let me be the first to applaud those who have ideas and just act on them. Because honestly, some of my most excellent adventures have been spur of the moment ideas that, I don't know, my husband would call or I'd call and be like, let's just pack the car and take a road trip. And I think sometimes looking back, if I had decided to just think of everything that might not be good for this little spur of the moment trip, we might not have done it. And those were actually just some of the most fun adventures I've ever had. And for me, there is a lot of excitement in the not knowing, right? I mean, some of us we like adventure and we don't want to map out the whole course of our trip or life. And sometimes we avert disaster, and then sometimes we just come away with a little bit more wisdom. But what if you've done all the impulsive things? Or what if you've been afraid to do any of those impulsive things? And you've just kind of been in this life of this is probably just as good as it gets. Or maybe this is just how I am. This is as good as I get. And so, I don't know, why bother? So let me tell you, if you are feeling even the gentle stirring that says, this is not where I want to be, what would happen if you dared to ask, but where do I want to go? Oh, and trust me, I know that's the scary part. I know that. Boy, do I know. Because then all the voices come in. The questions from our ego that kind of charge up to the front of our brain with that little a warning flag. Says, what are you doing? What do you think you're doing? You're too old to make changes now. Who's going to take you seriously? Look at all the other things you've jumped into all your life. Look at all the things you've started and never finished. Okay, well, what's your family going to say anyway? And what if you do decide to make some changes and people don't like that? People resist change a lot. And then there's that, I want to try some new things, but it's hard. Change is hard. But what about being a little bit uncomfortable to take you to a new place that you might not even realize exists? Complacency, that's even more uncomfortable, if you ask me. So what do? What happens when you don't know where you want to be? You just know that where you are is not where you want to be. What do? Recalculate. My friend who is a professional business coach, his name is John Allen Turner. I will put a link to him in the show notes. He's here in Atlanta, but he travels everywhere. So you can follow him on Instagram, John Allen Turner. He says, it's not enough to know where you don't want to be. You have to know where you're going. So that's exactly where I am right now. It's not that I was unhappy with where I was. I just knew I was ready to go in a different direction because I knew I wanted more. I've kind of been in this groove for a while, even though along the way I've done a bunch of different things, but I knew I wanted more, which meant I had to ask myself, where do I want to go? So it is no surprise that I am passionate about the Enneagram. I have been for many, many years, 12 to be exact. So after all this time, do I know everything there is to know about the Enneagram? No, not remotely. And no one does. No one does. Because it's a lifetime of unfolding into greater understanding. And I love teaching the nuts and bolts of the Enneagram and how our personalities show up within our types. But what I truly love is seeing someone have that light bulb moment when they you share something or you pull something out of them in a conversation just by gentle questioning. And you can see, they physically have this, almost this overwhelming little feeling of freedom that they didn't even know was accessible. They hadn't felt it before. And I love that. I love information. And if you're in the head triad, you know that feeling. Not that just the head triad loves information. That's not true at all. But we can just get in this cycle of feeding endlessly on information. But what I know is I love people. And I love being able to share what I'm passionate about with people. But again, if I'm just in a place where I'm sharing information, then I know I'm not tapping into a part of me that I am passionate about. I will say I'm gifted in. I wouldn't have said that a few years ago because I just thought that's, I just talk to people. I love people. Isn't that what everybody does? But actually, it's not. Some are destined to be great, great teachers, and I'm so grateful for those who I've been able to learn under for all these years. But sometimes when you're just passionate about something, it can actually be oppressive. You can be passionate about a number of things. I do not have to list them. And people just want to, fire hose you with their passion so you'll know the information that they knew or that they know or have learned. But what I have learned is that passion without compassion can be very harmful. You can belittle somebody even when you're like, oh, I know your type. And without any sense of compassion for what that even means, you can actually do more harm than good. So what I have learned is passion plus compassion equals purpose. Let me say that again because I fumbled it a little bit. Passion plus compassion equals purpose. So just like passion without compassion can be ineffective, information without transformation is useless. So as much as I love a spur-of-the-moment adventure, I knew that if I was going to take the necessary steps to move out of the space I was in and into a new space, I needed guidance. Someone who really understood where I wanted to go and could help me recalculate. I needed a guide. I needed a coach. So I'm sharing this with you today. I have been in an Enneagram coaching apprenticeship program for several months. Now, I've already done a few Enneagram certifications, so I've been gathering information for a long time. And I was excited when I connected with this coach because she actually heard me and she was able to help me map out a plan. Like, okay, we're at point A. Let's look at where you want to go, how you want to do that, and let's make a plan for getting to point B or Z, from A to Z, whatever, the whole thing. And so she understood that I had my desire to take all this knowledge that I've been working on, that, please let me say this again, no, I don't stand here and say, yes, I've been studying the Enneagram for 12 years. I know it all. I don't. I'm continuing to learn. But she understands that this knowledge needs to be combined with my heart for helping people free themselves from whatever pain point is keeping them from flourishing. And so she's helped me design a way to take this passion and marry it with compassion. So that means a lot of changes are coming in a few months. I'll be rebranding. I'll have a new name, not my own personal name, but my business name, with a clear message. And I'll be using the years of consuming this information that have led to my own transformation and my almost 63 years of life experience to help others who may know they are just stuck and want a way out. Or maybe you don't feel stuck. Maybe you just realize that where you are in life isn't fulfilling anymore. And that may sound like being stuck, and it might be. But you just want a little guidance in recalculating and finding those places that you didn't even know existed. Maybe places where you're able to clearly see, oh, this is a motive that I didn't even know I operated from. Or this is a fear that I've been living with that I didn't even know I really had. And I want to be able to do that work of helping you. And so I am excited to say and confidently say, I can help you. Now, I love the symbolism of the transformation of the butterfly. Anybody who knows me knows I have loved butterflies for many, many years. And so I am grateful I found a coach who sat with me through the struggle, just like that butterfly that's trying to come out of that chrysalis. She has let me struggle and let me unfold slowly and not be impulsive and rush through this process. And it has been a process. And we've made such great progress in defining what it is I want to do, who I want to connect with, who I want to be able to help in ways that I know now I can do this. So she has encouraged me to unfold my wings and has allowed me to be in the discomfort of the process until I was ready. And we are almost ready. So I am very excited about this new chapter of life, and I'm very excited about taking flight. So Thank you for listening. I look forward to sharing with you in the coming weeks about how this will all transpire and how I can be of service, take my passion, use compassion, and be there for those who are looking to take flight themselves. Have a great week. Oh, my birthday's Saturday. And I hope y'all celebrate every day of your life. Not just your birthday, but maybe just a little extra on that day. Bye.